Hello and welcome back to my channel. I've been reading this really awesome book at the moment. It's called Show Your Work by Austin Kleon, and I'm really enjoying it. But it's inspired me to do something a little bit crazy and something I've never actually considered or done before. So bear with me as I explain what this series is going to be about. Before I get on to what the series is about, I put out a poll the other day for a name for this series, and there was about 5 names that I asked people to choose between. I went on Instagram for a poll and YouTube, and Behind the Writing Desk came out on top. So that's why this series is called Behind the Writing Desk. It's going to be a series of writing vlogs documenting my process of writing 2 books at the same time. Again, that's something that I've never done before. I'm genuinely someone who plots one book and one book only until that book is finished. But there is a reason why I'm doing 2 books together at this moment in time, and I will explain that in a second. As most of you know, I have been working on book 3, the final book of my Viking Saga series. I did a video recently about my series Bible, giving you a little behind the scenes tour, so you can check that out up in the cards. I'll leave a link up there for you if you want to go and see that. So I'm planning that book at the moment, but at the same time, the other night, I couldn't sleep, and generally, as you do as a writer, if you can't sleep, you end up having ideas for books and things like that. So I've been meaning to write this story called this prequel to the Romance in the Lake series called Bella Notte for ages, and it details the love story between one of my main characters, Sophia's parents. If you've read Romance in the Lakes, you know that Jackie and Vinny are kind of like the matriarch and patriarch of the village, and they're everyone's kind of like substitute mum and dad. So I've always wanted to kind of tell their story. So the other night I was laying awake in bed, and ideas started to come to me for this story, and they wouldn't leave me alone. And it wasn't just like the odd idea. It was, I mean, literally boom, boom, boom. They were coming thick and fast. So I think someone somewhere is telling me that this story is ready to be written. So I am now doing 2 books. Never done it before. May never do it again. I don't know how this process is going to work. I've certainly never thought about doing one romance and one fantasy at the same time, because usually they require very different parts of my brain and my emotions. So we will see how this goes. But reading this book, Show Your Work by Austin Kleon, link in the description box by the way, I was inspired to document this process. And the reason why is because he talks about, I've only just started the book, so I'm only like 3 chapters into the book, so it must be a really good book if I'm already inspired to do all this. But I've decided to vlog it because he talks about, in the very first chapter, he talks about a thing called Scenius, which is kind of like where creative people don't just create in a vacuum. We need a community of like-minded people around us, and that's where you guys come in for me. Because I was figuring that if I vlog this, I'm sharing my experience. We can chat about it. You can offer me advice. We can chat about that in the comments down below as well. And I just thought it would be a really fun way to kind of like share what I'm doing. In chapter 2, he also talks about taking people behind the scenes. And I thought, well, I've got a YouTube channel. What better way to take people behind the scenes of what I'm doing? Especially because, you know, I'm writing 2 or planning 2 books at the same time. Never done that before. I don't really know what I'm letting myself in for, but I'm also looking at going back to work in the next week and a half. So I'll be doing 2 books and a job at the same time. Sometimes I find it hard enough to do 1 book and a job at the same time. So this will be really exciting, and you're going to get a front row seat to that. So hopefully you will be cheering me on and you will be celebrating my wins with me, however small they may be. The next question is, what will this series look like? The bottom line is, I'm not 100% sure at the minute. I don't think it's going to be a weekly thing, because I'm not sure how I'm going to feel going into this with the job and everything. So it's definitely going to be every 2 weeks at the moment. I can't promise any more than that. I can, however, leave it open-ended and say that as we get nearer to Nano, and as I got more confidence with the vlogging process and probably more confident in the books that I'm creating and planning, those videos may increase. I may do 1 a week, and that would ultimately be the goal. But at the moment, I'm going to stick to 2, 1 every 2 weeks. Bottom line is, the key for me is to have fun with this process. I don't want it to be a thing where I feel like I have to do it. If I don't do it, I'm putting so much pressure on myself and I'm letting people down. I don't want that to happen. I want it to be fun. I want to enjoy it. So that's why at the moment I'm sticking to the timetable that I've got. I don't even have a certain day in mind to get these videos out by. Just every 2 weeks. That's it at the moment. That's as far as I've thought ahead. Any planning and anything beyond that is for future me to decide. Let me know if you're excited, if you're as excited about this project as I am. I've got to admit, I'm equal parts nervous and excited about it. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how I'm going to cope with this. We're going to find out together, I guess. And if you've read Austin Kleon's Show Your Work, let me know in the comments. We can chat about it and share our experiences and our takeaways from the book. And in the meantime, if you want to check out my How I Write a Book series, which is a series where I offer my perspective and my take on how I write different aspects of a book, you can check that out over here. And until next time, have a great week. See you later. Bye.